So I am going to show you my bread recipe that I do that I saw somebody else share, and it has been a really big hit and has always turned out so good. So I'm gonna half it because we only, the recipe calls for 4 loaves and I only want to do 2. And then this weekend I'm gonna be making rolls. So I don't need 4 loaves of bread plus rolls. So I'm gonna start, so first you need 2 cups of warm water. Put that in my bowl. And then, let's see, 2 teaspoons of yeast, and then 1/4 cup of honey. And I just use the raw honey because that's what I have in the house, which I'm sure you could use regular honey too. So if you wanted to make 4 loaves, just double everything. So 4 cups of water, 4 teaspoons, and then 1/2 cup of honey. That's what I have here, but my 4th cup is dirty. So, and it works a lot easier when you spray the cup. It just comes out a lot nicer.
Okay.
All right, so we got that. So then you mix this up, and then you gotta let it sit, I believe, for 5 to 10 minutes till the top is bubbly, and I'll show you what that means. It's kind of just like a foamy looking top, white top. But I already started my oven so that the top of it, like the rack part, is warm on the top. For the next step, you want to have it, you have to put it in a warm spot. So I just start it before I start making the bread. That way it's nice and warm by the time I'm to that step. So I let this sit, like I said, for 5 to 10 minutes till it's bubbly on the top, and then I will show you what's next. Okay, so you can kind of see the top is just a little bit white and foamy. That is good to go. So now we need, so it's 1/2 cup of melted butter. So then put that in half. So 4 tablespoons, right? 1/2 stick. Can't do math right now. And then 2 teaspoons, if I can get this open. There we go. 2 teaspoons of salt. You guys are gonna help me roll it out next, okay? 2 teaspoons of salt. And then when you're halving it, I do 4 to 5 cups of flour. Just kind of depends, like once you mix it, if you feel like it's still pretty runny, or you just, yeah, you don't want to over flour it. So 1. Then once you start mixing it, it'll make more of a dough consistency. So make sure you mix everything in good. Now that it's all mixed up good, you just put a tea towel over top and then set it on the, Quinny, let him put the cover on, thank you. put a tea towel over top, let it sit on top of the oven where it's warm for an hour. And then after that, I'll go to the next step. I said I set my oven to 360, so that's been set for a little while, and we'll just let that rise. All right, it's been an hour, if not a little bit more, so I'm gonna take my bread and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. So this is after sitting for an hour, and it is nice and risen. So I'm going to, let's see, bread pans. So I'm going to make a cinnamon sugar roll, cinnamon sugar bread loaf. Words are hard. And a butter cheese one, which I've had that one. I think I've made that one a couple times and I really like that one. So I'm gonna get that stuff off. I got that. I'm gonna see. Maybe that'll help. All right, so I'm gonna melt butter. I'm gonna knead this. I'm gonna take the ring off. I need a roller and then bread pans, flour to put on your counter. And then if you just want it to be plain like sandwich bread, you don't need to do anything extra to it. And I'll explain that too. So if you push it, obviously it all deflates. You know, and I've made bread, I don't even know how many times, and I still am like, why didn't I do that first versus that? So I should probably put some flour out before I... It does help, I feel like, to have flour on your hands when getting it out of the bowl too, because then it just like doesn't stick as much to your hands. I mean, it's definitely messy. It smells so good. I've been making rolls a lot lately, so this smells so good. And kind of cover it in the flour. So now we're just kind of kneading it, and then we'll get the, since I'm doing 2 loaves, I'm gonna do, split it in 2 and then roll it out. So then once you got it all kneaded, you just separate it into its, so if you're doing 4 loaves, you'll just separate it into 4. You could do 2 loaves and then the rest rolls. Do all rolls, which that's what I'm gonna do. I'm in charge of making rolls for Christmas with my family, so I'm going to have to do 4 loaves of bread and make them all into rolls. That's what my job is, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I haven't made that many rolls. I've only made like this many rolls with 2 loaves worth of dough. So I hope it goes good because we have a very large family. So we need a lot of rolls. So I'm gonna set this off on the side, spread this flour around a little bit. All right. that your dough is rolled out. You can see that. All right, dough is rolled out. Now I'm going to do the first loaf. I'm gonna do the butter cheese. So I'm gonna open this. So I did the second half of the stick of butter and melted it just so I could have put butter on here. So it's butter cheese, and then I'll put butter, cinnamon, sugar on the next loaf. So just enough to cover it. I've done it before where I've done too much butter and it just kind of leaks out of it, and you know. And it's really no like amount, so whatever you feel like. The bag probably could go in here. Be generous with it, because I feel like once it's all rolled up, you don't notice it as much. So spread it all out. All right, so now that I have it all rolled up, I'm just kind of tucking it all in, squishing it all together. Trying not to break the top part, because I've definitely done that before, and then I feel like...
And I'm helping Mom.
Yes. Okay, back up. Where it breaks on the top and then the crust just kind of, I don't know, cuts weird. So just try to mend this all together on the bottom, pinch it all together. Hold on. And then this is our first loaf, and then I'll put this over here and we'll let this sit and rise for an hour. So I will do this one too. Those are all in the bread pan, so you just let that sit for another hour, and then yeah, then we can put them in the oven. So with my oven, the recipe calls for like 40 minutes, but I've learned that 35 minutes is good for my oven, so you might have to watch it a little bit or just try the 40 minutes, and if that works good for you, do that. Otherwise, yep, you're helping Mom. So try it the first time. If you feel like it needs to be tweaked, you can do that, but it's 360 for 40 minutes. So I will show you what these look like after they all rise, after they sit for an hour, and then we'll get them in the oven and we can eat them later. bread is gonna be done in like 10 seconds. And I'm gonna take this out and I'll show you what it looks like. It smells so good in here. So let's get this bread out. All right, so bread is all done. It smells amazing in here. Honestly, it's best when it's like fresh. So just let it cool for, I don't know, 5 minutes or put it on a cooling rack. I just let it sit for a little bit and then I'll set it on a tea towel and let it cool all the way. But they smell so good. I'm so excited to try these. Try them. I know they're good. You'll have to let me know down below if you make this and how it turns out. And if you have any more questions, I'll put the recipe and instructions in the description below. But this is such a good recipe. And when I make the rolls, I'll try to remember to put that in there, how I do that. It's essentially the same thing. So instead of rolling it into the loaves, you just make individual rolls. Mine, when I made it in the 2 loaf measurement, it was, I think, like 12 to 15 rolls. I think maybe even less than that. So maybe around 12 rolls. But I'm gonna make for the full recipe for the rolls. So we will see how that goes this weekend for the Christmas party, and I'll just show you. It's very similar. All you gotta do is just put them in the rolls, let them sit for an hour, and then put them in. But I do the rolls for 12 to 15 minutes, and they turned out so good. Also, those are best when they are fresh. And I've learned, instead of like doing, because the oven has racks, the bottom one got too crispy, so having just one in at a time works best, unless you can fit 2 pans at the same time. But yeah, I will show you how that goes on in a couple days when I make those. But these look so good, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all cut up when we dig into it for a snack.